drinking from champagne. Pure alcohol doesn't.
I'm Rose McAvoy, and I'm playing Reno in Anything Goes. What I really enjoy about theater is that feeling when you're on stage and it's like you can't see any of the audience because of the lights, and it's like you're in your own bubble just interacting with the other actors, and it's just this really cool feeling of being in the moment and just being somebody else, and I just really like it.
I get a kick out of you.
I've learned a lot through sub builds. Things like how to work power tools, which I was like kind of weary of like my first year. I was kind of scared of those. And then how to make like a structure safe. I didn't know anything about that, like how to like crossbar it and all that kind of stuff, like putting extra legs on the bottom to make it really safe. And I've learned a lot about how to make things look nice but also be functional. That's kind of a big thing. I like to be able to say that like something on stage wouldn't have existed if it weren't for me. Like it's all mine. It's like my little child.
Hi, my name is Milena. I'm a sophomore and I'm in tech activity. I'm definitely not a big fan of science. Things like biology is not my forte, but I do love math, and so coming to tech is like math, but it's kind of like the slice of math that you really love, because in math you have like equations and like x's and n's, and in tech it's like strictly numbers, and you get to build things and you actually get to see them come alive, whereas in math it's just like all on paper.
Can I have more rope?
I enjoy tech because of the memories and the people you meet along the way, but also the skills you learn.
Did you get it, Milena? Got it for 2 of them.
Tech is very trial and error, especially when you're building like high up platforms, because you have to measure how tall the wood's going to be, and then if it needs to be cut at an angle, you need to measure that angle if it's 30 degrees or 60 degrees, and if you cut it too short, then you kind of need to add like you need to measure how much more wood you need at the bottom, and then if you cut that too long, then you need to cut it again, and that's all about getting precise measurements, and it's really hard to get precise measurements, especially since some of the wood can be warped and bent and not strictly straight, so you have to kind of learn how to get around those things and how many inches to take off when a piece of wood is warped or how many inches to add on, so different things like that incorporate math. When you're using saws and different drills and learning how to be safe around them, because the things we work with in tech can cause serious injury, like if you screw something into your hand or if you chop off your finger. So learning different things to keep us safe is very important also. Things like building stairs, how that works, and how to make a stair sturdy when it's bumpy or rocky. Which screws affect how platforms are built, especially because if you put a screw that's too small in a platform that you need a screw that is bigger, it may fall apart, and you don't want an actor to fall on their face on stage.
Hello, my name is Helen Yan. I'm a senior boarder from China. People don't normally think of tech as a math thing, but it really is. So when we're building the fence, we have to calculate each angle, how long the lines will be, how to break them apart. And it's actually pretty difficult for me because I'm not a very math and science person, but tech really helped me improve my skills.
Public enemy number one. Public enemy number one.
This year I took a mod of STEAM class in the science department with Dr. Boyette, and I was the only one in the class who was fully capable, like skilled, and not afraid of using the tools to build things.
Nice job.
For taking this life.
making a giant fan, and we're doing that by using like how big that is and how this is, and trying to do it to scale. And so we did all that math down here. And next we're going to
use this piece of wood as our compass, and we're going to drill holes along it in accordance to the measurements that we made, and we're going to swing it across the fan and mark where we need to paint and put lights and everything. So
yeah,
from floor. Yeah.
Once I was heading for hell, but when I got to Satan's door, I heard you blowing on your heart, so I said, take me.
Okay, so our giant compass has a pencil in it, and we went too fast where we have a piece of tape, so the tip of the pencil broke.
We're gonna try again.
We're gonna try again.
'Cause I've gone through the brimstone and I've been through the fire. Yeah, nice. Working on soul of my body.
Yay!
I've been touching blood. Come on and blood, Gabriel. I wanna join your happy band.
Hi, my name is Mona. I am a junior day student from Sterling, Virginia. I love math a lot. I think it's my strongest subject. And I love it because it's problem solving. There's a clear process that the teacher gives you to solve a certain type of equation, but everyone is unique in its own way, and I love that kind of challenge. I love my physics class that I took last year because it was all about real-world applications of science. And I saw it a lot in tech, the work I was doing when we build different things, build big structures, how we're going to design them. I mean, we have students walking on top of them, so they need to be able to support them in their weight and be safe. STEAM is perfect when you talk about tech because I think it's where everything comes together. We learn about measurements, the physics behind weighing things and what can stand up, how you're going to build it, the structure behind it. You learn about art because it's about design. It needs to look good. It needs to be appealing for the audience. The instructors engage us in every single aspect of the project, so they talk to us not only about what we're supposed to do, but why we're doing it, how we can do it better next time. And when problems arise, we're able to solve it on our own because we understand the background of how it was built. I think what I love the most about tech is the teamwork and being able to be part of many small projects that add up to make something really big and really huge. And I think it's a lot about leadership because everyone who's working on a separate project needs to take charge and do their best because there isn't always an adult to tell you exactly what to do every step of the way. And I think it's helped me in my problem solving. There's a lot of adults that interact with each other on a professional level, and listening to them solve their own problems, come up with different ways to fix things, do things differently, I think is really inspiring because there isn't a rule book and an instruction booklet on how to set up a set for a particular show for this school. And so they're making it up along the way. They're doing their best, and yeah, that's what I love about tech.
My name is Katie. I'm a senior, and I've been doing Madeira Theater for 3 years. You find family in the other actors and singers and dancers. Even if you're not very good at one of those skills, they'll help you. And I don't know, it was really welcoming. I wish that I had done it at the very beginning of the year because that was where I found my home here. I found that I also really, really liked working on building a set or working with the lights, even just running wires backstage. It's also another part of the family. It's like a really dynamic group. It's like you have this team that works together. It's like cogs in a machine, but also they have to resize each other and help each other out. So there's a lot of making sure that everybody's good and checking on each other and challenging each other. I've learned how important it is to measure things. We tried masking at one point the inside of our set to make it all black, and we were just holding up the pieces of fabric against the walls and trying to cut them, and when we ended up taking a step back, measuring everything and cutting the pieces before we put them up, it was so much more effective. So you kind of also just learn what works, and organization, planning, creating layouts and outlines. And I think from education standpoint, it's probably one of the more powerful things I've done because you see applied versions of the things you learn. So you apply your math, you apply your communication, you apply your creativity in a way that you don't get to do in other classes. It's the only time I've enjoyed math or science or physics or anything. You definitely get to experiment with all the things you're kind of sitting in class for. I've always done really well in math, which I'm grateful for because I don't like it very much. So I don't think if it was hard for me, I would do very well. I've really enjoyed doing math when it's been applied though. So building a set, or even in math class doing a maximization problem, and it's a project and you apply it to the school or something. I took a class, modern physics, it blew my mind. It was about like string theory and quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and really changed my view on the possibilities that are out there. And I think having that in the back of my head when I do even creative things has been powerful, because it's like it feels like your little contributions or the little things you do are affected by the greater world in some ways. It's kind of spiritual in some ways, which is cool. I don't know, it's a cool feeling to feel like when you're doing math, it's bigger than that.
I get no